What is going on, guys? Welcome to Think About It Reviews, and this time we are talking Everest 2015. And this is directed by Balazar Kamarker. Sorry if I butchered that last name. Great cast, though. Great cast. We have Jason Clarke, Josh Brolin, Emily Watson, Keira Knightley. Sam Worthington is in this film. Jake Gyllenhaal as well. Now, we all know I love survival movies. Okay, I love survival movies. I think survival movies are interesting. I think it dwells into reality. It dwells into what would happen if you're in this circumstance. Given the fact that these guys, especially Jason Clarke, who plays Rob, he leads all these people up to Mount Everest. They're doing it at their own will, and of course they're doing it for whoever sponsored them or whatever, because there's different sponsors come in like, here, I'll give you money, I need you to make it in this so many days, and I want you to hopefully be the first to make it to the top. And this happens like every year. So it's not only Jason Clarke's crew, it's also, and he meets a bunch of people who want to climb Mount Everest, who have accomplished climbing other mountains. You also have like Jake Gyllenhaal, who's in another crew. You have these other, there's different kind of crews trying to climb Mount Everest, but they're all for the same goal. They're all doing it because they love doing what they're doing. They feel like it's an accomplishment. So it's not like there's rivalry, but there's no hatred when they're all, together. I mean, they're all trying. It's like Wild with Reese Witherspoon, right? Everybody is trying to reach their goal. They're trying to accomplish something they've always wanted to accomplish. So Jason Clarke as Rob, he does such a fantastic job. He's calm, cool, collective. He has this group who's somewhat experienced, and most of them are experienced. I mean, you even have a mailman guy named Doug who attempted it about, I believe, two times, and he's failed every time, and he's just so determined to get to the top. And then you have Josh Brolin's character, who basically, he's kind of old. He plays Josh Brolin plays Beck. He's a doctor in real life, but he wants to he's climbed every mountain, and he's failed at one mountain, as we hear from in the movie, but he's trying to just reach Mount Everest. I mean, it's just the passion of his. It's something that he could, all the troubles go away, and he has to conquer this obstacle that's in front of him. Now, I like all the characters. I did say Jake Gyllenhaal's in here. He's not the main focus. I believe a lot of it is Josh Brolin and Jason Clarke's characters, but Jake Gyllenhaal does not too bad of a job. I actually, at first I was like, where's Jake Gyllenhaal at? He doesn't show up until like later on in the film, but he does present a good character as well. He plays, I believe, Harold. I gotta say, man, this film, watching it, I really was very engaged from the get-go, because like I said, I really do like these type of films. And just like Everest itself, it starts off, the pacing wise and the difficulty wise and the conflict wise, it starts off fine. It starts off fine. We're getting to know these characters. There's one character in here, she's conquered like 6 mountains, and this would be her 7th. So she was an interesting character. She's from Japan. And this is based off a true story. I don't know how much the true events are real. I don't really dwell too deep into the events that occurred and everything if I don't know what the whole the background is. So I don't know if how true it is to what happened in these events. However, I just look at the film and see how the film presented itself, and I gotta say, the look of this film was really great. Sometimes it did feel like it was a set, and sometimes the conflict, then you're just wondering, where's all this conflict happening? It's just really it's good that we're getting to know these characters, but some of the characters get kind of left behind, and we get introduced to them. We get to know their kind of goals and stuff, but I mean, the focus really shifts from knowing each and every character to maybe knowing like 2 or 3 to 4 characters, and then all the rest kind of get left behind, and you don't feel as much of an impact when they're dealing with difficult situations. Now, but the film itself looks great. I think the acting is really, really good. I liked how they allowed. I believe Jason Clarke is Australian, and we all know Sam Worthington is as well. I like how they did allow them to use their native tongue, so to speak, because I think actors having to do an English voice or some other language that they're not used to, it really just kind of boggles down the performance. But it feels very natural in this film. And of course, when you see Jake Gyllenhaal, you're like, oh, that's Jake Gyllenhaal. But he does not too bad of a job, but I don't think he's the star of this film, honestly. Now, like I said, the pacing in here, it starts off calm, cool, collective, and then it just gets harder and harder and harder, and the difficulties get difficult and difficult and difficult. And then you have more just conflict after conflict after conflict. But you really want, some of these characters, you really want them to accomplish their goals and accomplish their feat. And then, of course, on the way down, there's always going to be trouble. Even though you're to the top, that doesn't mean going down is going to be just, it's going to be easy breezy, because it's not. So this film is almost about, I believe, like 2 hours maybe, but I never felt bored. I always felt engaged. I always felt for these characters. I want to know what was going to happen next. Even if it wasn't based off a true story, I still would be more really engaged. I think this is one of the best Survivor stories I've seen this year. I can't really remember any other Survivor kind of stories. I guess you could call it the Scorch Trial. But this is real genuine, something that people actually really do in everyday life. And they actually try to attempt to climb Mount Everest. I'm never going to do it. I'm afraid of heights. Hell no, you're not going to get me to climb Mount Everest. There's one particular scene where Josh Brolin has to go over a ladder. They use a ladder to get to one side to the other. And I thought, hell to the no. I am not doing that shit. So it's always great to see what kind of ideas or what they do when it comes to climbing a mountain such as this, because I'm not invested in that stuff. That's not what interests me. But if a film comes along and I want to watch it and I see it and I'm like, oh, that's kind of crazy. I never knew that they do that kind of stuff, have a ladder with them to go to one side to the other. So this film, like I said, it does have some problems with the the characters do get left behind. It did seem like sometimes you could tell kind of like, oh, okay, they're on a set right now, but they're not on a real mountain. But overall, I really did enjoy this film. I really can't really flack it with too much here. And, I thought the acting was great. This is probably Sam Worthington's best performance. I was just watching him like, you know what? You're doing a really good job in this film, Sam. And a lot of times you're not. So I think this is one of his best performances, honestly. And he's not that big of a role, but at first I didn't even know it was him until I kind of had to really look at him. And Keira Knightley does a great job. Everybody does really just a great job in this film. Even Josh Brolin. At first I was like, Tommy Lee Jones? But no, it was Josh Brolin. But overall, I really did enjoy this, you guys. I really did think this was one of the better films of this year. I don't know if I put it in my top 10, but I really did enjoy the survival kind of film. I would like to look into it and see if these events were true or not. Maybe I will. I always like to look into stuff if it's based on or it's true events. But even if it's not true to the form of actual events, I absolutely did enjoy this film, and I thought the film really did look great. Sometimes it was a little bit hard to see who was caught in the storm and stuff, but other than that, really great film. So thank you guys for listening. I highly recommend you check this out. Movie theater wise, if you like survival type films, this is one to check out. But if you're not really into that kind of stuff, I would wait until rental. But honestly, I do highly recommend this. And honestly, a movie theater, it'd be nice to see it on the big screen. I really think this film, I think you will get attached to these characters as well, and really look forward to see what happens to them at the end. So thank you guys for listening. I'm Dan the Man. Subscribe, more reviews of everything. Like the video, well, if you like it, and comment below if you have seen this film and what did you guys think of it. So, like I always say, guys, grab a tick, grab a seat, make sure you got some good popcorn to eat. I'll see you at the cinema. Bye, guys.